Questions?
This is Jordan.
Jordan, welcome.
I've been doing a lot of research lately about reptilians.
About reptilians?
Yes, could you expand on that for me?
Well, what is it that brought your interest forward about reptilians?
Their ties with the Illuminati and them controlling our government, putting on this facade that they're actually human, but when they're actually a lizard, extraterrestrial species.
Now, did you ever see the old movies V?
No.
Nobody made them within your lifetime, not so long ago.
They were made in the early 1980s. And there was a whole series of perhaps TV movies about beings who came in a big spaceship and they invaded Earth, but they really were reptilians underneath. This was presented to the mass consciousness in about 1983 or 84, in that vicinity. But prior to that, there's always been a big scuttlebutt around the planet about the intelligence of reptiles. When we began channeling through our vehicle in the early years, people asked us, is it true about reptilian beings? Do they come from space and are coming to Earth? And we said yes, and people were quite shaken by the implication of this reality. Since then, there have been many books written, well, some books written, let's say, not many, because it is such a hot topic that no one wants to touch it. We will say this: there are people who have written a lot of disinformation about the reptilians. So you have to be very, very careful who you believe. In our model of the mind, in the garden of the mind, the conscious mind is the size of one little green pea. The unconscious mind is the size of a nice football-sized potato. So the pea wants to think it knows the answer, and it does the research. But it is flawed because it does not understand the larger implications that the potato or the unconscious knows. That is when you must check with your body or develop some manner of dowsing to see whether you are getting the truth or not. Because again, the internet is full of disinformation, and many people in the New Age movement and researchers are really working to confuse you. But it may look as if they are researching and informing you. Learn this right on, Jordan, otherwise you will mess up your mind. You with us on this?
Yes.
Now, it is true, beyond all shadow of a doubt, that there are intelligent reptiles as forms of sentient species who live on Earth, who have come to Earth. And it is reputed that even the main geneticist, the main scientific genius inventor of the Anunnaki, Enki himself, is a reptilian being. What do you want to know?
That's it.
Overload.
Good. Overload, that is a good answer. Roger went, Yes, and something to consider is that if you look at some research in Mexico, you will find that there was a great predominance of reptilian energies that were utilizing the people as food in Mexico. One of the reasons that the governments of the world are terrified of the reptilian energies is that some of them now we looked at humankind as food. And we believe back to the V movie in the 1980s, this was one of the themes that they were bringing forward at that time, that these beings who came and appeared to be human were really reptilian, and they were really looking to gather the humans as a food source. The same story can be applied to the giants. The giants were a creation of the reptilians, and on the highest level understand that the reptilians, some of them, are the master geneticists. And to keep your mind really, really clear, Jordan and everyone else, remember this, is that in all species and that in all types, every variety exists, so that within the reptilian ranks there are very good beings, as well as beings who would just as soon have you as a snack.